got Le Jaguar and Stolen Turnip playing as French. AI Hard, who is not an AI, is actually a human disguised as an AI, is playing as English. And we've got King Sniper playing as Delhi. So, and Wraithek also playing as HRE. And we got one other player, Rental Beast, playing as Abyss. So a pretty good mix of civs right now. We got Roos, Abyssit. Like we actually almost have all of them, right? We don't have all of them. Almost there. Searching for DJ Hot since 82 and first set I saw on YouTube. Oh, wow, that's cool. What do you know, guys? This is another RTS game, so I mean, plenty of StarCraft players are really good at this game, chat. So if you guys are StarCraft players, welcome to this area. And alrighty, so it looks like we got some placements down from several of these civilizations. We got Rental Beast and Stolen Turnip placing their civs relatively close to one another. I think it looks like Turnip is going up with a TC and a tower right away to see his opponent. I'm not sure. Oh, not Turnip. I mean, Rental Beast is looking for Turnip. So he's placing down a tower. It looks like Turnip is countering that with another tower. We'll see if they decide to team up after the 5-minute treaty mark in a little bit. Otherwise, this is a little bit too close for comfort for several of these players. I do hear the sound of the treaty bell going off. It looks like the south side of the map is also still completely open. We did have a game like this before previously where the south side of the map was open. One of the winners of the last week did take over the south side of the map and then was very successful taking that over. And was able to actually secure most of that area. So it has a lot of res down there. It looks like King Sniper is going up with their TC over on the northwest side of the map, kind of in a secluded area, not necessarily as good as Map Boss, but Map Boss has a super secure location for them as well. We see up in the northern side of the map, Razag playing as China, has a relatively closed off area as well, but probably going to be spotting out the location of Le Jaguar relatively soon. It looks like their scout has spotted it out. Treaty is almost up in 2 minutes. Wraithek playing as HRE is out in the corner. Looks like they're going to probably send out a scout in just a little bit. Or they did send out a scout. I don't know if they sent out a scout yet, but I do want to see what they see on the map because they're probably unaware that their neighbor is relatively close, that Razag is really, really close for them. So if you do play as HRE on Nomad map, you don't really start with a prelate, and it looks like Le Jaguar is going to be spotting out the location of Wraithek, who was relatively secluded, but now is exposed by the scout.
What?
Either we're going to see teams coming out from one another quickly, or we're going to see a long, slow death for several of these players. Also, look at this amazing gold spawn. AA Hard is rolling in the gold right now. So if he can secure this area up well, he should be okay. But also, I would be worried about Turnip and Rental Beast teaming up and then pushing down south towards AI Hard. And AI Hard, if you remember last week, was an absolute beast. The only thing was that it was hard for him to score points because all he was doing was defending. So I really hope to see some awesome offense from this player. It was highly entertaining last week. There was so much drama. So we'll see how this goes in the next few minutes. I'm gonna get off the UI. We're gonna look at current res, and we've got 1 second left till treaty has ended. Prepare for bloodshed. Rental Beast and Turnips, both of their Turnip is now friendly towards Wraithek. Let's see if Turnip is friendly towards Rental Beast. I'm not sure if they are deciding to team up yet. We do have Turnip and AI Hard actually teaming up as well. Looks like Turnip did their homework because they know how strong this player is since last week, or I think it was last week, not the week before. So there was just like a huge play. So it seems like Turnip and Rental Beast are actually not going to team up in this round. We see Rozug and Le Jaguar team up as well, and they're probably going to push towards Wraithek if Wraithek isn't careful. And Wraithek is walling up, trying to keep his little section secure as possible to prevent any raids. And I see a little bit of tower action coming in from Stolen Turnip towards the base of Rental Beast. So Rental Beast is really an exposed area right here in between two allies. And I'm not sure what AI Hard wants to do in the future, if AI Hard is going to push back and try to take out Rental Beast with Turnip, or if Turnip's just going to rush as hard as possible. Playing as an aggressive Civ as well, such as French or even English, is a great move if you want to play aggressive in a free-for-all team, take out a few civs in the beginning, and then kind of hole up and wait till Imperial. Also, it looks like Rozug seems to be spreading out of the entirety of the map, is placing their Imperial Academy all the way down at the south side, has noticed that it is completely clear down here and is doing their best to secure this area as well. Le Jaguar is down there in the same area, but both those players are teamed up. We do hear more pings going off for Rental Beast. Rental Beast is trying to spread out to the south side of his area. If he's not careful, though, he might get a little bit too close to AI Hard. I do hear a defense sound going off for when I click on King Sniper. So I wonder if King Sniper has teamed up with... Oh, yes. So we've got King Sniper, who is Zero Cool, King Sniper, AI Hard, and Stolen Turnip, and Wraithek, all on a 4-man team. And I hear Wraithek is now hostile towards King Sniper. Interesting. I don't know if that'll come out soon where we'll get that update there, but I'm going to head back to the UI and we'll have to make out the teams based on what's going on. But I do hear the sound of age up. So we've got King Sniper on the way to age 2. Probably, I'm assuming every other Civ will follow suit. Rozug has also reached the feudal age with the very far placement of the Imperial Academy down at the south side of the map. Remember now, the Imperial Academy can make Imperial officers. So it'd be a really long walk for this Imperial officer to go collect taxes at the north side of the base. So I wonder if Rozug's going to try to make a proxy base down here or just kind of keep it out as a hidden landmark. And we see a Barbican getting placed down by Rozug just in front of the gate of Wraithek. Wraithek is kind of in a secluded area. He can spread out down south. This is awesome, has a really strong tree line wall. There's only one point of entry, so if he wants, he can build maybe one barracks and just have a few spearmen here to defend or something like that. Maybe a couple ranged units to be able to shoot over the wall as well. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but Roxy has a toy, my dog, and she's like squeaking it in the background. So apologies if you hear a squeaky toy in the background. We've also got Rental Beast and Turnip just kind of standing side to side. And it also looks like that tower is going to try to get sieged down by this scout right now. We also have School of Cav getting placed down by Stolen Turnip. And so once those Royal Knights hit the ground, Rental Beast has to be worried, has to have some spears out to do a little bit of defense. And I don't know if he notices this, but Stolen Turnip is also placing down another tower. It's always the dog's wallet. She does have a squeaky toy, guys. Also, Turnip has reached the feudal age. I do see a second TC in the base of Eahard. Seems to be booming up to probably going to be up in castle age not too shortly. And it seems that Turnip is doing what Turnip does best, which is an awful tower rush. I have been on the other end of Turnip's tower rushes, and it's not fun. It's definitely hard to defend against, especially when you're a civ such as Abbasid, who doesn't have a military unit sooner or later. And we've got some emplacements also coming in for several of these outposts from Turnip, who has been gathering stone as well. So I'm going to head over to Turnip's base. There is a tower placement relatively close here. Looks like it's about to get sieged down by several of the scouts. And we hear the sound of probably one knight being queued up soon for Turnip. Rental Beast did reach the next age. I wouldn't be surprised if I see fresh foodstuffs coming in and a barracks placement down, but Rental Beast does have enough wood to get out some military units, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen necessarily. All right, I'm going to look down south at the proxy base of Le Jaguar, who's building Guild Hall down here. Imperial Palace. This is an interesting team play for both of them. Both of them are really trusting each other at this point because they all know where each other's landmarks are. So this will be an interesting team to see what happens there in the future. More of a tower rushing coming in from both players, or at least some defense tower rushing. No military buildings being placed down yet for Rental Beast, but I do see a knight here out on the map trying to push back any of the villagers in the way. Also, we see a archery range going down and a blacksmith for Turnip, so this is not looking good for Rental Beast. King's Palace also being placed down by Eahard, like I said, going up to castle age pretty quickly, and double TC placement is rather strong. I'm going to check on some of the other players where there's not much action happening right now. Matt Boss playing as a Roos down in the corner. And their base is kind of spread out along this lake, which I like because it makes it harder for some of the other players to visualize where the landmarks are. And in free-for-all, that's really important to be able to deny anybody who's coming soon, like coming onto your base who hasn't scouted. Like, you have to rely on people not scouting in a free-for-all map because it's huge. So if you can do that, you can also like make sure you hide your landmarks on a big map like this, or at least make them in a little more secure position. So Map Boss is definitely pushing them in a more secure position. And we do see military buildings getting placed down by Map Boss. So I wonder who he's going to go out for first. King Sniper seems to be playing as the Deli, just doing what Deli does, trying to get up to the next age. If I look at the eco right now, Le Jaguar definitely has a head, and Map Boss, as well as Eahard, they have a villager lead. And it seems like Eahard is trying to wall up like they did before. I'm not sure if they're going to help Turnip push in on these units over here. There are 3 barracks getting placed down, so Turnip has to be careful and make sure that they spot this out soon. Otherwise, they're going to have a huge mass of spears that they're going to have to deal with, and that is not good when you are a heavy cav team. So he's already got the archery range, able to defend, going to be able to pick off several of these spearmen right now. And I would just push. Like, he needs to turn around and push. I don't know if he has chivalry yet or what he's planning on doing with the rest of his military. I do hear several of these archers coming out on the way. They need to go around though, because they just end up going through the TC fire, which is not good for their health. So we'll see how that goes for Turnip, and Turnip seems to be making a push down on the south side. I'm gonna check out his barracks. He does have the siege engineering research. So Turnip can place down rams. I'm not sure if AI Hard is going to help at this point. We do see Iron Undermesh coming through for him. Oh, and here we go. Men at Arms sitting at the lower edge of Rental Beast space. So Turnip's kind of taking some of the front heads, going to be able to take out any of the spearmen that are coming out from these military buildings, and Barracks is also going to get taken down. This is a really strong tower placement also from Turnip that's going to deny these south farms and then hurt any of the villas that are coming out on their way. I do hear more barracks sound, so tower was trying to get placed to counter the tower and at least counter the trail of archers on their way in, but looks like that's denied as well. And it's not looking good for Rental Beast. He's kind of stuck in a really difficult position just because a lot of the areas that he was using or that he spread out to are going to be denied. And we see AA Hard making a push on the base of Rental Beast. Yeah, and they're already heading down for that main main House of Wisdom. Fresh Foodstuffs was not selected yet by Rental Beast, unfortunately for them. That would have been helpful. Normally with Abbasses, they're allowed to boom a little bit. They can have that second TC in this moment. I'm going to pause this for a hot second and then go because it is lag. It's just like pausing a little bit. And it looks like they're going to siege this down by hand. Turnip does have the resources to possibly make a ram in a short while, and it looks like a couple of those farms are on fire for these players. Map Boss continues to wall up on this side. AA Hard has continued to wall up this time, and Rental Beast has been eliminated by AA Hard and Stolen Turnip. So both players will be getting 2 points each. I'm going to see if any of them... Okay, so Rental Beast. Okay, neither of them, that wasn't their secret target, so they won't be getting the 2 points. But either way, they still get 2 points each. AA Hard is now strongly into the castle age, has quite a big group of men at arms, and they seem to be pushing forward. I don't know if they're going to decide to backstab Turnip or what's really going on here, but I think it might be a battle on the front lines. Enemy seems to be capturing the sacred site. So I also see here up on the northern end, Wraithek making a push towards Razag right now. So there was a little bit of stalemate, standoffish right now, but it seems that Wraithek went down with the Burgrave Palace, is sending in men at arms. There is an FCBs out on the front line, astronomical clock tower out there for Razag, but it looks like it's not going to be enough to hold against some of these units, which are a lot tankier than, just having one siege unit out on the front. Crossbowmen are spawning out of this archery range. Really, Wraithek needs like a Treb or a few horsemen maybe to siege down some of the other units, but we'll see how that goes for him. And it looks like those crossbowmen are sneaking up around the backside. Yeah, they're sneaking up around the backside of that TC and taking them out. So Razak is holding his northern corner at best, and it looks like the backstab has come through for AA Hard, and AA Hard is pushing towards the base of Turnip right now, trying to get that backstab in, doing their best. Let's see, hold on, let me look at that. Yeah, AA Hard changed teams because his number changed. So even though Wraithek is also teamed up with King Sniper and Turnip, AA Hard is going in and trying to pull the switch. Oh my gosh, he's got men at arms all over the map. A couple spearmen too. He's got to get out from underneath these towers that luckily Turnip did place a lot of towers down. Otherwise, it would be harder. It would be way easier for AA Hard to get into that map. But I don't know. Turnip has to do a lot of defense right now. I'm going to look back at this UI. Turnip does have a healthy economy, but he can't really send anything out because if he does from these military buildings, all these units that are sitting over here are going to take out take out those knights that come spawn out. So he's only got, let's see, he's got a archery range, which he's sending out archers. You know, they'll be able to take out a few of those spears, but really the placement, look at all of these barracks. All the barracks from AA Hard are coming out, and there I also see a Treb out on the map. So looks like the School of Cav has been sieged down completely. Main TC, you know, the men-at-arms are still staying out of the way of the main TC, but it seems like they're heading over now with their torches alit to burn it down. Turnip is in the feudal age. Being a French player, going in all in feudal is not bad, but I do see a very long line of villagers heading over to that Treb. Spears pulling back, gonna defend against some of the units that are out here. Has to be careful because that Treb is about to get burned down, completely taken down, but I don't know if that's an issue because Turnip is looking like he's in trouble right now. Yep, and that looks like it's gonna be completely taken over by AI Hard. Unfortunately for Turnip, he did not last more past the 20-minute mark. I also will let this go down. We know kind of what's gonna happen in the next few sections. Oh wait, it looks like King Sniper's trying to come to the aid of their teammate Turnip, but it might be just like too little too late right now. We're on fire. We're completely on fire, and Turnip is. If Turnip like went up to the next stage, possibly, but obviously doesn't have the eco, and Turnip has been conquered. Oh my gosh. Conquered. Turnip has been conquered by AA Hard. So AA Hard will be able to take on those 8 points alone. King Sniper's tried to do that. I will check on that question that you had, Brutal, from before. If we look up on the south side, I think he does know. Matt Boss does know this is open for the most part. If we do take a look, though, at the south side of the map, he doesn't know that Razag and Le Jaguar have built kind of like a small proxy base over there. So he isn't aware of that. But man, if Matt Boss does spot that out with the scout that he has right at the front side, that would be an amazing raid. But it looks like Le Jaguar has a little bit of military over there. Looking up at the north side of the map, Razag is continuing to get harassed by Wraithek. I don't think Wraithek knows that he's gonna have to go across the entire map to take out the rest of the military, and it seems that Razag has recovered relatively well, has a group of Springals, has some SMBs, and a pretty large group of crossbowmen that are going to defend against any of the units that are coming out of the Burgrave Palace. Le Jaguar reaches Imperial Age. I think we're the first player to reach Imperial Age right now. On the other side of the map, Matt Boss is just booming and has a huge military, is almost at is 40 away from PopCap, sitting at the doorstep of King Sniper. So if King Sniper's not careful, which I don't think they're being careful very much, they're kind of like looking up north to probably defend their friend Wraithek from Razag. They could get taken out relatively easily. Yeah, it looks like Le Jaguar and Razag are still a very strong team as well. I see this like one military oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what kills me. Like, I feel like that should not be a thing. Like, the dead units should not be able to kill you. At all. At all. Also, here we go. On the north side of the map, this is what I wanted to do. It looks like Map Boss has made it in the push towards King Sniper. We've got a huge group of Royal Knights, not Royal Knights, these are Roost Knights in the base of King Sniper. A couple Trebs on the way as well. Actually, one Treb just doing work at the back line, and we see Horse Archers cleaning up any of the villagers and crossbowmen that are making their way out from some of the military production buildings. Playing against the Delhi, you know, there's several of the elephants are making their way, turning around. Unfortunately, this elephant doesn't have any scholar buddies right now. There are scholars in the military buildings, not all of them, but like there needs to be some scholars out on the map to heal up this elephant. Dome of Faith also going to be able to be sieged down relatively quickly, and Horse Archers moving into the front lines and blocking off some of these crossbowmen protecting the knights. Elephant making their way into the center of the map. It's very low on health though, down to 161. A tankier unit being down to 161 is not looking good for King Sniper. The hostile learning completely exposed right here, and King Sniper is low on food at this moment, cannot build up a military to defend against this. Map Boss was allowed to boom, just built up an entire military and went in on their neighbor. And there it goes. King Sniper has been conquered. Wraithek was trying to come to the aid of their teammate, and unfortunately, it's completely too late. 4 points will be going to Matt Boss in this situation. We have also got more Trebs making their way up north. Wraithek better be scared if Matt Boss decides to push forward. Matt Boss is down to, is almost a pop cap too. Wraithek was not a friend. You turned on him before, Matt. Oh my gosh, you did? Oh yeah, you did. You did. Why does it say 104? Here we go. We see another push from Wraithek. Looking towards the base of Razag and Le Jaguar, stuck in between both of them. We also see Matt Boss continuing to boom up on the western front of the map. Most of the military have regathered at the back. I would like to see a couple warrior monks in that mix just to heal up any of the knights, but otherwise that's a really strong mass and hard to defend against, especially if Wraithek is over here. Oh, Razag is backstabbing Le Jaguar. Razag is backstabbing their once friend Jaguar. I don't know. Oh, look. Oh my gosh, I missed it. We need a replay on this. Yeah, so Le Jaguar initiated the backstab originally at the south end of the base, was not able to defend it in this situation. But also now Razag is surrounded by two enemies. All right, let's go check that replay out right now. All right, so this is what I missed. Those knights that were sitting at the front of that area before, which we saw kind of earlier in the game, seem to be trying to burn down the Imperial Palace. There's two landmarks over there though. So there's like the Imperial Palace, not the Imperial Academy, sorry. And Imperial Palace is also down there too. So it looks like he was not able to be completely successful, as we see all those knights are getting cleaned up by several of the units down on the south side. We also see, we're going to go back to the gameplay because as I see on this side, we've got, it looks like Razag made his way through the palisade wall and is going for the guild hall of Le Jaguar. Le Jaguar seemed to have cleared it out, so he's not going to be losing any of those resources right now. And I'm going to look at the UI again and see where Le Jaguar stands with military. Is up to about 64, whereas Razag is sitting at 67 and does not have the eco. at all at this point. It's down to an eco of 39, so that's not looking good for him. And it looks like Map Boss, oh my gosh, so much is happening. Map Boss is in the base of Wraithek. Wraithek was pushing out to the other side, and Map Boss is just cleaning him up with this huge group of Roost Knights. Not surprised there at all either. Burgrave Palace was quickly taken down, and it looks like the main TC is going to be sieged down as well. And Wraithek has not gone off to Imperial Age yet. He probably wanted to go up with a Palace of Swabia, and that would be canceled out as well. On the other side of the map, we see who's making their way across here. Le Jaguar trying to make their way across the map too, getting a little bit stuck in the heat of things. I don't know if he's trying to help, but it looks like Wraithek has been conquered by Map Boss in this situation, so Map Boss will be getting another point lead. I'll have to look back and see when Le Jaguar hit there, but it looked like Map Boss kind of denied that, and will probably take all 4 points since Le Jaguar was a little bit too late. Le Jaguar is in the main base of Razag now, taking out that main TC, got the Barbican and the Astronomical Clock Tower at that area. During that area, this is going to be a lot of back and forth. Guildhall has been destroyed, but Razag is very strong on the south side of the map, but does not have an economy to really rebuild his military. Barbican of the Sun is also going to be sieged down by Le Jaguar. Bruce making their way back down towards the south side of the map, and we see on the eastern front of Le Jaguar's base is AI Hard pushing in through this choke point, and gonna be if these guys got to set up and just take out this keep immediately. There's a couple keeps on the way in, so I think really what AI Hard has to do is be careful about Le Jaguar's keeps and make sure that he keeps some of his less strong units safe away from that boiling oil. Oh, Jaguar was trying to help. Okay, thank you, Wraithek. All right, so they were definitely teamed up in that sense then, and I think Map Boss seems to take those 4 points as well with a lead of 8. AI Hard is deeply into the base of Le Jaguar. Le Jaguar is down to 82 units, trying to build another keep, has a lot of horsemen out on the map, but unfortunately for him, AI Hard has spears and men-at-arms, which are going to be really strong against some of those weaker units. Pulling up from the south, we've got 3 of the trebuchets. Let's see, a keep at the front. Main TC is right here. Main TC is right here. We've also got Chamber of Commerce right there. And then in the corner is College of Artillery with some Rebaldaquins on the way. Great against some of these armored units. And we hear Map Boss's hooves across the map. I don't know who they're going to go in on next. Probably, see, this is ridiculous. This man-at-arms is still chasing them. This man-at-arms, I think, is from... I don't know where that man-at-arms is from, but he's still chasing them all the way across the map. That's got to stop. That really has to stop. And here we go, back into the main base of Le Jaguar. Le Jaguar doing his best to recover from this. Has a Rebaldaquin doing quite a bit of damage from all of these to these men-at-arms who are kind of still flooding in from the south side of the base. AI Hard pushing as best as they can down to a military of 70 right now, but has a really strong economy. The Jaguar unfortunately has spent all of their gold and has to wait for that to kind of recover at this point. Remember, their guild hall has been destroyed by Razag. And Map Boss makes a mighty entrance. That wall was just not enough at this point. So he's making an entrance, going to be taking out a couple of the TCs. The main TC is right here, so I'm not sure if Map Boss has spotted it out yet. Has not spotted out that main TC yet. Does see a glimpse of the keeps. And we see another push in from AI Hard from this point. Getting hit by these cannons who are doing a little bit of defense. Unfortunately for them, they are not guarded. There's no screen in front of them, and they'll probably get sieged down at this point. Knights also pushing out across the map from Map Boss. Map Boss is almost population capacity. Look at that eco of 128. Look at all the resources coming in for him. Has a military of 65, and when you have strong units like this in Imperial Age, you can definitely defend against whatever's coming your way. And there is a little bit of a tiff right here between Earhard, who has spotted out the artillery, College of Artillery as well, and begins to siege it down. Main TC has been taken out by Map Boss, and Map Boss is going for the next landmark, which is Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, and meanwhile, during this time, Razak is recovering as best as they can. They have, and Le Jaguar is conquered by Map Boss and Earhard. And Razak also took out his other proxy base, so that's probably going to be a clean split between all three of those players. None of them got their secret target from that kill yet. So we're down to the last three players, powerhouses, I will say. But Razak is struggling, trying to rebuild their economy back up. Earhard has a strong eco of 108, Map Boss at 128. And Map Boss has a huge group of knights just running through everywhere. I don't know if Map Boss, though, did have that scout down at the south side of the map. And I don't know if he actually, he might have scouted out some of the stuff that's going on down here. I'm not sure. Oh, and another landmark is coming out for Razak. He has completely abandoned the north side of this base. And so I think now that Matt is seeing this happen up in the north side, he's going to know that there's a proxy base somewhere. He did have some one unit down here, so I'm not sure what's really going to happen. I do see on this side Earhard pushing up to the northern corner as well, so I'm not sure if Earhard has actually seen where Razak's once proxy base, now main base, is actually located. So yeah, Razak also hasn't scouted that out either. So, or Earhard hasn't scouted out where Razak is either. Map Boss did have a scout down there. So that's why I was like, I think he did see it and probably knows that there's something located on that south side. So one of the players will have to make the move to that side. We'll see if they get in a fight right now. Nope, they're just gonna pass each other. But Map Boss should be worried if Earhard spots him on that side of the map. I hear the knights making their way down to the south. I think they know because there was a scout down there. He does need siege. I feel like because like on the cinematic mode, I can't see everything. He has spotted out like kind of like where some stuff is. So I know he might have, that scout, if it moved, it would be dead or it would still be there. So I wonder if something killed it while there was like that stuff going on. So, oh, he has spotted the trail of military coming in from Earhard. And so Earhard has spotted that out. It's probably gonna follow those knights. Or not. Is he gonna follow? I don't know where he's sending, where Earhard is sending all those units. Looks like a couple of those units were going that way. It looks like they have entered into a little bit of a battle up here. Razak continues to recover back up to eco of 50 at this point. Still really low on food comparatively to the other players, so really it's just gonna be a game of hide and seek.
Your behest shall be done.
He's asking about it in chat. All right, we've got confirmation that he doesn't know where that base is. He has spotted out the bottom south corner of A Hard though, so A Hard has to be careful now that Map Boss has kind of found like some sort of entry point. He is so close though. Rozak has to be like really careful not to lose any of those units. I do see a lot of Fire Lancers though. So I'm not sure if he's gonna try to landmark snipe. The thing is he'll be able to get through these walls from Map Boss relatively quickly compared to getting through the walls from A Hard, who has like double walled this up. King's Palace farther, and then he's got another, oh, he's completely walled up the Wingard Palace, which is also very useless. I don't know how they're getting through this. I don't know how, like, I'm actually curious to see them get out of that area. I don't know how they actually spawn out of there. Let me see how much Cleroy has updated with the points. So we've got A Hard in the lead with 13, Map Boss following closely with 10, Turnip it with 3. 3 points so far. I don't know if that's completely correct, but we'll see. I don't know where your Ghost MAA is. We definitely have to work on what goes on in that situation, so we'll see. Actually, that might be right. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna have to look back. You should be able to get more of that for... We're gonna have to look at the replay because I think there might be some discrepancy. So if you guys have questions, like those aren't the official points. So we don't release official scores until like after the weekend so that you guys have time for us to watch the replay and go back. We do see some dead knights out on the field, and so that proxy base has been discovered, but not in time for A Hard to make their way across the map. TC is going to be taken out by several of these units. Oh, it looks like they're pushing back. Trev is completely exposed, but there's such a strong choke point right here. Oh no, all the siege. Oh God. All the siege that A Hard has painstakingly moved across the field is gonna get taken out. But Map Boss is losing his whole knight group right now and is completely denied entry into his own base. At the south side, we see more of Rozak's units taking out some of the gold miners right here, and so he's got to go back in towards the main base. A Hard is pushing in as best as they can, have a few hand cannoneers taking out the houses, going to be able to deny more of that eco increase. They are standing underneath the fire of a TC though, so they have to be careful with that because they'll get taken out by several of the arrows. Rebaldequin doing good work right now, doing best they can. So I see Map Boss is building a wonder. Map Boss goes up to the back of the base and decides to build a wonder. Gonna get that extra point off for sure. It seems like the the Spastica Tower has been built, so there's several stone wall defenses up too for this Roost player. We've got Vils on the way. Oh, Vils are gonna spot out that bombard in. Oh, for A Hard just keeps losing all of the siege that keeps trying to come and push through. So all that's being lost. Main TC is going to go down at the hands of AI Hard. Rozak also doing a second push. We've got some elite fire lancers. We've got spearmen. We've got hand cannoneers making their way up from the south base. They are stopped in their tracks because, you know, when you right click, that happens. We've got Streltsy out in the front. We've got keeps coming out. We've got extra stone walls. A lot of defense in the way. Oh man, these guys are gonna try down. Oh no! Okay. So if you build a stone wall and then build a door, they can siege down the door. Choke points are really OP right now. The only thing that they could do is build a transport ship to get across, and I think at this point it's going to be a lot of time spent between AI Hard, who is teamed up or at least neutral with they're pretty neutral against each other right now because they're going in for that wonder. So Razog and AI Hard have teamed up officially to try to get through and get that wonder. Matt Boss has completely walled that up again. A couple cannons are going off at this point, trying to push through as best as they can. I think really, oh, and we've got 3 docks placed down by Razog, not completely built yet. So, ooh, Matt Boss has to be careful about this. Has to be super, super careful. Otherwise, these transport ships can bring over just a few siege and it's game over for him. But he does have a lot of military units, or a lot of military production buildings. There's a lot of choke points in here. So it's gonna be hard for several of those armies to get through. Matt Boss is starting to get lower and lower on res, but I'm not worried. He's got 62 villagers ready to go, so we'll see how much action happens at this time. And it looks like AI Hard did make it through the first 2 stone walls. Yeah, you can build walls and gates under construction, for sure, but if you build a wall and then it's fine, and then you build a gate, and then the elite fire lancers can take down the whole gate, I don't know if that's supposed to happen for sure. Looks like that second keep is gonna go down, and there are a lot of horsemen, a lot of knights spawning out in this area, trying to take out all of the army of Razog and AI Hard, doing his best to defend. We'll see how far Matt Boss gets in defending their wonder. We're sitting at 12 minutes still. There's quite a bit of time for AI Hard to push through. We've got a lot of bombards on the way, and Razog and AI Hard is pushing as hard as they can to get through these few keeps. Knights also, Streltsy also on their way. Another smaller wooden wall is trying to get built by Matt Boss. Matt Boss does not have an eco right now, down to a military of 75, and is gonna have to pull back into their base. The wonder is all the way back there, but they've already lost a couple landmarks. They do have their Golden Gate, which has 9 tickets in it, so they can do a little bit of trading right there if they wanted to. But otherwise, oh, actually it didn't go, a Baoshan, wow, decided to go with this instead of a transport ship because now oh God, that hurts. Razog, that hurts, man. Oof, Matt Boss trying to hold as best as they can, pulling the military back just a little bit, and more bombards are on their way. Baoshan is also doing a little bit of damage, and it seems like they're gonna do a push to hold. Hand cannoneers up on the left side, and horsemen on the right, diving straight into those Streltsy. We've also got archers too. Fully upgraded archers from AI Hard. I like this. They're longbowmen, actually. English coming in clutch at the end of the game. I want to see where AI Hard is sitting because they are pop capped, have a beautiful base over here in this area, are super strong in this case, and most of the military is running all the way across the map. So if they are able to get down Nat's Wonder, which I really think they will be able to once they walk through this entire base, AI Hard might have the upper hand in this battle. Razog also bringing in more units, cannons versus Streltsy right now. Baoshan making its way over and probably gonna get a couple cannon shots off and take out a lot of those Streltsy. We also have villagers on their way too, either to repair these or they're placing a tower. And I think I don't know if this was on purpose, but Map Boss has a couple saved units right here in the corner. Here we go, making a final push. Map Boss is down to a military of 39, population of 89 total, whereas Earhart is pop capped and Rozag is sitting around 126. Actually can't even make up to that many units. So we'll see what happens in this situation. I think they're gonna push in, do a slow push, be a little bit more on the cautious end. I'm not sure because they probably can't see anything. Yeah, they can't really see anything. High Trade House is right in the front though, so that'll probably get taken out by several of the military units. And any of those villagers that were out in the open will also get taken out by the army of Earhart. Yeah, I agree with chat right now that just placing a dock right here might be a good option as well. We do see a bombard and a couple palace guards from Rozag in this area of the base. Rozag has not built up any of their landmarks up on this side of the map too, so I'm a little bit worried too if Earhart decides to at the end of the game when they actually come in and possibly destroy this wonder. One more final push from Map Boss. Map Boss is down to 7 food right now and is doing their best to take out the siege if possible. Oh wow, the siege are really vulnerable right now. They're getting down 2. Gonna get 3. Oh, and a villager pool. Here we go. All the villagers on the bombards. 2 of the bombards. Oh my gosh, 2 bombards left. Oh, and a really good trapping in here. A good screen from Rozag, but it is too late. Both bombards from Earhart are gonna get taken out, and that is what you call a villager pull right there. Map Boss is down 2, and oh my gosh, 11 people, 9 people left in his land. He's got the 3 Streltsy left, gonna take out these palace guards. No boiling oil yet that came in from the keeps. I don't know if he realizes that. So Map Boss can do that and get the get at least boiling oil. I'm gonna look at the timer. That wonder tracker is probably sitting up at 6 minutes. 6 minutes to hold this. We probably got more bombards on their way. Yep, here they come from Earhart. Bombards are pushing into that main base. We've got the Spaskia Tower and Spaskia Tower. Sacred Site counter is, I don't know how to check the counter. It's taken by Rozag and Earhart, so it's not going off. Because they're teamed up. More units taking out the military buildings, and I mean, I think they should just push for that. Push for that right now. We'll see how long it takes for them to get there. I do hear siege going off and boiling oil finally coming in for Map Boss. We've got more Fire Lancers out on the map taking out any of the military buildings in the farms. They don't realize that Map Boss literally has no more economy, so it really doesn't matter at this point. I think they're just making the death super slow. And we've got the bombards finally making their way in through that choke point. Wololo! I think there's gonna be a Wololo, possibly. Map Boss has 2 units, or 8 people left. I don't know if he's gonna try to get a Wololo off at this point. Cannon is taking out several of the units, and it seems like those horsemen are trying to avoid those keeps. And so now that the bombards are on their way, they're just going to be able to clear up this cathedral, the keep, and then the wonder shortly after, and then the tower, and take the win from Map Boss at this point. We are down to about a few minutes, and Wonders, if you think about it, only have 5,000 health, whereas this tower has 8,000. You think Wonders would have like a ton of health, but they actually really don't. They're pretty weak. Because like even keeps themselves aren't very strong. So we got the tower as the last landmark for all the players to take out, and those points, those 2 and 2 points will be, those 4 points will be split between Eahard and Razag this game. Map Boss has been conquered. I would expect. And here we go. Backs are turned on each other at this point. Now they're enemies becoming hostile towards one another, and all of those units all of those bombards are taken out by Eahard. And I hear the sound go off for the sacred sites. It looks like 2, 3 of the sacred sites have been captured at this point, and I hear more sounds going off at the front of the base. So it looks like a couple scouts in the base of Eahard, and Eahard is going in for the last sacred site right now. That will be the timer. Once that goes off, it will be probably, a few minutes, and we'll see if Eahard is able to keep the sacred sites, or if they're able to wipe out Razag anyways at the south side of the map. I think Eahard knows what's going on. I'm not sure. Based on the last game, Eahard is very, very strong player. Right now, I'm going to look at the landmarks tracker. So we got Eahard has all of the has 4 landmarks, where Razag only has 3 because he didn't rebuild on the top side of the map. So that's a little bit sketchy for him. Eahard now has 4 of those. We've got 10 minutes or 9 minutes on the clock, so starting from around 56. So that should go off quickly if Razag is not able to secure any of those sacred sites. Center 1 is secured with walls. Nothing a transport ship couldn't help, but most of that proxy base is going to be taken out by these bombards as well from Eahard. Eahard has a little bit of sounds going off. There's scouts over here just burning the university flippantly. I'm surprised that he doesn't have biology, but actually, no knights are out on the field, so maybe that's not necessary. Anyways, and we see the march of units coming down from Eahard's, from Map Boss's dead base. I don't know where. I'm going to look at the bill count. So let's see. Razag is sitting at 164, whereas Eahard is almost population capacity and has a huge income. Could also build a wonder. I think they should build a wonder. They could build a wonder. And then get those extra points. Because you get 1 point for building a wonder. Hear that sound of gold. Eahard also slowly making their way down through the south side of the map. Gonna try to make towers as they go and locate out where Razag's location is. I'm gonna look on the map. So they haven't really spotted out anything below that area. So we'll see how far they can get. They do see a ghost placement. It's gonna be difficult for them to find everything necessarily, but Razag has scouts in the base area, some of the base area of Eahard, so he knows where a couple of the landmarks are located. I don't know if he'll be able to get a landmark snipe off or if he'll be able to decap one of the sacred sites, but he has to be careful right now because there are units coming to the north side of his south side base. I hear horsemen going off right now. They're probably going to decap a sacred site. There's several towers out on the map that have been upgraded, which is giving a really good warning sign for Eahard. Eahard has made it to the front lines with the army of Razag here at the front. Look at Razag's eco, though. Oh gosh, only at 400, 500 wood at this point. If he loses the siege, it's just not gonna be, oh, he's losing the siege. He's losing the siege. He's losing the siege to all of these bombards and is not gonna be able to recover from this. Oh, actually though, but Eahard can recover with gold and things like that. So I think he's gonna go for the sacred site when not sure exactly. There is no sacred site timer. I can't find it unless I'm crazy. You guys know where the sacred site timer is. Like even when I click on AA hard, I don't know. Like for some reason it doesn't show up. Ooh, and a couple of the ships are trying to take out the proxy base. Ooh, but unfortunately, one of the sacred sites has been captured by Rozag, so that's going to start the timer over again, and Eahard has to start over. But I think Eahard should go for a wonder, they can't build a military to support that if they go for a wonder, so they got to be careful with the decisions that they decide to make. There is a Wingard Palace located in that area. Rozag, though, is so low on eco that if Eahard decided to make a military or decided to make a wonder, it wouldn't be that bad. But I do see him queuing up a lot of units right now. More of the military of Rozag sitting at the front lines. And it looks like most of the units are being queued up from Eahard somewhere else on the map. So a bigger proxy base is being built out for him. He's going to hide out in that area in some of the stealth forest. Yeah, there's no use for this just kind of hiding out in the corner. There's also like Wingard Raiders, 3 horsemen, 3 knights. Produces like for 200 food and 100 gold. That is so cheap. Produces 3 crossbows, 3 hand cannons. Amazing. And then the classic Wingard army. So no use coming out from that for Eahard apparently. But he is going to be able to push back with the army on this side and probably drag out. It looks like, oh, Rozag is leaving his home base though. That is not a smart idea to leave the home base and try to head in to Eahard's area. Eahard is continuing to make more military buildings, dropping a second keep. I just like can't get over Eahard's eco right now compared to Rozag's. Rozag is kind of recovering, but also like not recovering to the best of their abilities. So. Do you see this number? 30. All these siege units also pushing in towards the northern side of Rozag's base. Rozag has to be careful. All of his military is up here. I think he's thinking that he can try to race through into the base of Eahard. Eahard though has all the landmarks set up and one is really, really far back. And I don't think Rozag well, actually Rozag did scout really well, but I don't think he scouted out that area of the map yet. So unfortunate for him, his landmark Great Wall Gatehouse is going to be taken out right now. More army from Eahard is coming through and it's mostly siege in this area, but he's only has 3 more landmarks. So once that was taken out, he's got the Imperial Palace to be taken out as well and the Imperial Academy, and that's it. I hear the sound of more military making their way into the base of Eahard. He has to be careful. He's sending out military to defend as best as he can. He's got some spears on the way. These are elite fire lancers. These are really weak units, so they are easily defended against, but they can siege things down relatively quickly. Palace guards as well at the front lines, and we see an even bigger push from these Baldaquins trying to take out a lot of these hand cannoneers. I think And cannoneers are going to siege down the siege, and we have more units from Earhart pushing into the main area of the base. I don't know where they're going, if they turned around, if that was a military select all. Oh, no. Yeah, I think that was a military select all, and he's pushing back in through the base as well. Earhart probably has this win. I'm not sure. They just have to hold Razog right here at the front right now. Forward keep is going down. The main TC is right in the front, though, unfortunately for him. And we've got a lot of spears, a lot of men-at-arms moving their way up to the front line. Hand cannoneers pushing out onto the map, going to be... Ooh. Relatively exposed cannons, though, but these hand cannoneers are not as strong as they once were and are just not doing damage, not doing a lot of damage to this. We do see more hand cannoneers and spears being made by Razog. Razog doing their best to defend. I agree, Honorin, as well. Once you take that out, you have to bust through another hole in the wall. So cannons doing their job, staying strong, moving in, and more hand cannoneers and spears. So it's an equal army at this point. We see villagers. Wow, he could have come through at this side. That's funny. He could have come through at this side if he had scouted. And it looks like Ahard was able to hold this push from Razog. Razog is down to 289 gold, so really low on gold, and we see a huge flood of military coming in from the proxy base of Earhart into the base of Razog, who is trying their best to defend, trying to keep them out of their base. And we've got some horsemen on the way, looking to siege down the siege. And we have a back line of cannons as well. So even if these are exposed, it's going to give time for several of the military units to come up to the front and take out any of these horsemen, which are relatively weak, only a health of 125. And if you look at the health, there's 288 on the health of the siege. Here comes a bigger military push from Earhart, and it looks like Razog has tapped out, and the 4-point win will go to Earhart. The non-computer computer